What I'm going to do now is set myself a trot line. Trot line is a passive means of fishing. I can put it in the water, come back and check it every so often and see if I caught something. And basically what I'm doing is I'm setting this one up with parachute cord. You need one main line, which I have stretched out here. I'm going to need 2 stake poles for when I go into the water. I'm going to stake these down. The trout line needs to be tied off at each end. Now, if you had a small stream or a brook, you could tie it off to 2 trees. In this case, I'm fishing off of a lake, so I want to put this in there, and I need 2 stake poles to tie these each end off to. And then what I'm going to do is I'm setting 3 lines with the inners of the paracord. I've pulled one line of inner paracord off of this main line here, and I've got 3 sections. And I've got them all hooked up, and I found these berries here that the fish have been eating as they fall into the water, and there's plenty of them. And so that's what I'm baiting these hooks with. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've been observing the fish in the water, and they're jumping like crazy over here after these little berries. There's a couple techniques you can do when you're fishing. You can just go in the water and hope that the fish comes by, sees your bait, and eats it, or you could chum the waters. Those are both viable, both techniques. If you have a bunch of termites, you can just bust a termite mound up, throw it in the water, kind of chum it so the fish come in. Then when they go for your bait on the hook, they're not suspecting anything. Same thing with these berries, are already in the water for me. So let me put this last line on there. Tie this one off up here. And I'm using the same hooks as I used earlier that are already weighted. They're one of my favorite hooks to use in my survival kit. That way I don't also have to carry waders. So they already got weights on them. So now I'm going to go put these 2 stakes in the water. And they need to be about 3 steps apart. So now I'm going to go put these stakes in the water, and they got to be about 3 steps apart. You want to put your stakes in far enough that they're seated, so when the fish bite on the line, they don't get away. Now I got to go 3 steps away. All right. Now, if you're dealing with water where tides are an issue, you got high tide, low tide, you may want your sticks rather tall. You may even want to tie off some red tape or some streamers to the tops of them so you can find your trout line in case the water raises too high. Now I'm going to get the line and set it into place. All right, so I've attached one end of my trout line to that stake right there in the water. Now I'm going to finalize the trout line by tying off to this end. So I'm going to tie this end right here, make it very taut, because when the fish come and get hooked up on my trap here, this trout line, I want to make sure they're not going anywhere, because I definitely want to get some food in my system. All right, so I've got the trout line set. I've got 3 sets of hooks into the water. I'm going to make sure they're spaced apart just right. Double check all your work before you move away. Bait is set. Trout line, good to go. Real simple to set up. I can leave it here, come back, check it, just like any trap, and hopefully this will work and bring me some food.